Whether you're solving murders during breakfast, cracking cold cases on your commute, or playing amateur detective at bedtime, Amazon Music's got millions of podcast episodes waiting. Just download the Amazon Music app and start listening to your favorite true crime podcasts ad-free, included with Prime.
That's the sound of a big deal. At Wayfair, that sound happens a lot. Dream sofa for half the price? Big deal. New dining table you've been eyeing for months? Big deal. Finally picking up those last few pieces and finishing that bedroom? Now that's a really big deal. Whatever your home needs, Wayfair has the selection, the savings, and over millions of 5-star reviews to back it up. Shop Wayfair.com today before someone else snags your big deal.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
This is Optimal Work Daily, 9 Smart Business Tips for Freelancers by Mikey Rox with lenpenzo.com. Freelancing is a great gig if you can manage it, but it's not as easy as it looks. For instance, when you're just starting out as a freelancer, you may forego contracts to get a gig. But what happens if the client skips out without paying? How do you pursue it? Is there any recourse? Learn this and more with these smart business tips for freelancers from experts who mastered the art. 1. Treat your work like a business. Just because you're the boss of you as a freelancer doesn't mean your professionalism or commitment to quality should diminish, especially if this side gig is something you'd like to grow into a full-time venture. Communicate with clients, produce high-level work, and meet deadlines just like you would at your place of employment. 2. Cast a wide net. Freelancing can be slow-going at first, but if you pound the proverbial pavement with a quality product, you'll slowly start to build your client base. Don't limit yourself to a select few either. Take whoever comes your way at first to get your name out there. That income will also help keep you on a solid foundation as you grow, despite that some clients may not work out. 3. Automate. You'll find quickly as a new freelancer that your president, CEO, secretary, janitor, and every other job title that comes along with your new little business. To stay focused on the revenue-generating parts of it, automate what you can. Businessman McCall Robeson says, quote, "In business, there are countless intricate parts that keep it running. If you don't find ways to automate your business, you're going to be stuck working on all of those parts manually. Automating parts of your business will free up your time to focus on more important tasks." End quote. 4. Leverage your day job. A lot of people dream of quitting their life-sucking 9-to-5 job for full-time freelancing. But don't be hasty. You might not enjoy being under your boss's thumb all the time, but your job comes with plenty of perks that freelancing doesn't. Health insurance and that employer matching 401k are good examples. Small business expert David Backey says, quote, "Maintaining your current career and easing into the freelance world lessens financial stress, since profits aren't likely to be huge in the beginning. Also, find a mentor. The website Score is a great place to find one. 5. Be tax savvy. One of the most critical business tips for freelancers is to be tax savvy. The fact is, freelancers should be thinking about taxes from day one, since their taxes aren't automatically deducted from their income, and those who aren't prepared could be in quite a financial bind. Freelance copywriter and content strategist Alexandra Sheehan explains, quote, "When you're balancing freelance and a full-time gig, the tax burden isn't so great. But it can be a real shock when you make the transition or when you significantly increase your freelance earnings. When my freelance really started to snowball, I owed more than $10,000 in taxes, and I held a full-time job for more than half the year. Set aside 25% of your freelance income for taxes. Also, make sure you have your finances in order from a bookkeeping perspective too. Come up with invoice processes and naming systems, record every transaction, and keep all your receipts, invoices, and other documentation for expenses. A separate bank account that you use solely for freelance or other business purposes makes it easier to track down incoming and outgoing transactions." End quote. Also consider hiring an accountant who can help you navigate the self-proprietorship landscape, including setting up quarterly taxes that you can pay after your first year in business so you can at least mitigate your tax liability. 6. Market yourself. Another business tip for freelancers is to focus on promotion. Social media is a great way to network with potential clients, but I'm also a big fan of in-person networking events where you can meet potential clients, show off your personality a little, and establish a rapport. Organizations like the Freelancers Union are offering resources, unique freelancer financials advice, and a monthly meetup in major cities across the United States. It's also free and has a large nationwide membership base. Trade sites, online groups, and event resources like meetup.com and Eventbrite are also great for finding opportunities to network. 7. Specialize. R.J. Weiss, founder of the financial blog The Ways to Wealth, says, quote, "My freelance earnings didn't take off until I chose to specialize. In my case, I specialized as a landing page designer on the Unbounce platform. Specializing in a field that was both new and growing fast allowed me to quickly gain customers. It also allowed me to earn a much higher rate than before." End quote. 8. Crunch the numbers. Before you begin freelancing, it's important to get an idea of how much the overhead will cost you versus how much you can charge for goods or services. Sarah Moe, business coach at Flock, explains, quote, "Let's say you want to start a bakery and sell scones. But if it's going to cost $5 to make each scone and you can only sell them for $4, that's not a profitable business. And don't forget to include your hourly rate. Just because you're working for yourself doesn't mean you shouldn't pay yourself. If each scone takes you 5 minutes to make, you need to factor that into your pricing." End quote. Profit First by Mike Michalowicz is a great read on this subject for all new freelancers. And 9. Ask questions. If you want to be successful, you need to listen carefully and ask lots of questions. Steve Wang, a 15-year human resources veteran and resume writer, says, quote, "Freelancers who ask detailed questions are the ones most likely to do the job correctly. Then again, freelancers who act like they need no guidance or help are usually the ones who screw things up." End quote. You just listened to the post titled 9 Smart Business Tips for Freelancers by Mikey Rox with lenpenzo.com.
For everyone who solves crime from their couch, knows more about forensics than their own job, and has trust issues with small-town sheriffs, Amazon Music's millions of podcast episodes are calling. Just download the Amazon Music app and start listening to your favorite true crime podcasts ad-free, included with Prime.
And thanks so much to Mikey for this post, which he of course wrote for Len Penzo's site. And a little bit about Len, he writes about personal finance and macroeconomics on his eponymous personal finance blog, which has been twice honored as a Kiplinger Best Money blog and honored with 2 Plutus Awards for Best Personal Finance blog. Len's personal finance articles have been featured in the New York Times, MSN, Business Insider, Money, Time, Forbes, The Huffington Post, Yahoo Finance, CBS Money Watch, and Clark Howard, just to name a few. Len's focus is on the importance of personal responsibility, not only for our personal finances, but also for everything else we do in life. For more from Len, come by lenpenzo.com. But that is going to do it for today. I thank you so much for being here and listening all the way through. And be sure to be with me again tomorrow, where I will have another post and where your optimal life awaits.